What to do when you're running out of filament, but yet your print is not yet complete. What we are going to attempt to do is to, as the filament runs out, we're going to insert a new piece of filament while printing continues and see if we can transition to a new roll of filament without losing what we have printed thus far. So in preparation, we have a set of wire cutters which we're going to use to cut the filament and off the old filament to make sure it's nice and straight. We've got our new roll of filament that we will be adding to it. Now, one thing we have done here is on the new roll of filament, we have lightly sanded the square cut on it to make sure that it will easily feed in. Okay, the printer is working at normal speed, normal temperatures. We're at the very end of the spool, so what we're hoping to see happen is that the filament will detach from the spool. Then we will begin the process of seeing if we can splice while in the midst of printing. We went ahead and helped the filament just a little bit just to make sure that there wasn't a knot or something that would mess up our print so far. We're going to remove the old spool, discard it in the trash, I guess. And then we're going to put our new roll filament up on here. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we have done a square cut and then just lightly sanded around the filament to make it just have a very small taper on it. We are now going to take the filament and we're going to cut it off square. So as it feeds into the print head, we'll have a flat surface for the other filament to butt up against. We're going to let it continue running until we have about an inch of filament left, and then we will start the splicing process. Okay, at this time we have about 1.5 inches of the filament left sticking out to go into our settings. And we're going to raise the EAD temperature to 220 degrees. We'll go ahead and go for 225. Currently we're printing 160. We're going to slow that down to 90. Let's go ahead and go to 85. This is an experiment. We don't know if it's going to work. We're going to have our EAD temperature at 225 just to make sure we have plenty of warmth to melt the PLA. And then our printing speed is at 85. So we're going to press OK. That'll give it a chance to heat up before we need to start the process of inserting the new filament. We've got about a 1/4 inch exposed right now. So the temperature's coming up. We're up to 220 already, 222, 223, and we should be up to 225 here in just a second. Okay, we can feel the filament going in. This process may not work if a person was printing something that has larger throws of the print head, but right now with the throws of the print head going in straight lines and whatnot, It so far seems to be working. When we start seeing the clear, as you notice, we're having to use clear here because Amazon has not yet shipped out my white filament that I was going to use. Get another grip here. Just light pressure is all we're doing, just hopefully to keep this end up against the butt of the end that at the end of the spool. Okay, so we're hoping to see the extruder continue to pull in the filament. See if we can put a little red mark here on there. Well, it looks like it's feeding in. Time will tell. Well, we're going to pause for a minute and let some print happen, and we'll come back and see if we've had success or not. Okay, the filament continues to feed, so apparently we're working okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back in the settings, and we're going to increase our print speed back up to 130%, which is where we were. 130%, and we're going to decrease our temperature back down to 210 centigrade. Okay, we're going to click OK to change those settings. The temperature starts to drop down to 223. Should see the print speed pick back up here. Temperature is back down to 210. Bed temperature is at 59. Let's see. Drop down to 206, 207. We're coming back up, 208. Bed temperature 61 of 60, and filament is 210 on 210. So we're going to pause the video again and let it do some work and see if well, as you can see, it looks like the inserting of new filament while the print was continuing seems to have worked, and as you can tell, where we started with the white filament and we had to switch over to supposedly a clear filament, and the seam is good and the print is continuing on, so it looks like the filament being inserted into the hot end was successful. So let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or techniques that work for you, or if you have any questions. Thank you, and hopefully you enjoy the video.